Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1841 AN. Today's date is April 14th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Patriots Mount Offensive on the Central Bank on the Defensive. Now, we know that Robert Mueller has been investigating Donald Trump for over 2 years now, and has concluded that there is no case to answer on his colluding with Russia during his election campaign. Given that news, you would expect the markets to have soared. Instead, they've reacted by tanking. Neither Trump nor his Democratic opponents are going to let this go, and there's nothing the markets hate more than political uncertainty. Combine this with Brexit and the trade wars with China, and you have the perfect storm brewing. With the stock markets bearing near all-time highs and crazy volatility going on, now is not a good time to be fully committed to stocks. Gold has rallied along with silver this year, and it might be time to think about putting some of your money into precious metals as a hedge against what the stock market might do. It may be fine, but why take the chance? If you call Noble Gold, you can speak to one of their advisors about the pros and cons of buying precious metals. It's not for everyone, but if you qualify and get in quickly, Noble Gold are doing some special deals on these beauties at a moment. So click the link below to get your free gold IRA guide, or just call 877-646-5347 and make sure to mention X22 Report to get the free gold investment guide. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, as we can see, the plan is moving forward. The tide is completely changing. And this is not just with the arrests, with the sealed indictments, with declassification. It also has to do with the central bank. And you can see that Trump is now pushing the agenda to transition us from this economy that we're in, which is a central bank economy, into a people's economy. And he continually brings up 5G, where he says 5G will transform U.S. lives, especially in rural America. Now, the rural communities where internet access lags behind current technology are about to get a huge boost. And this is going to be coming from 5G. So no matter where you are, you'll have access very quickly to 5G, Trump said, noting estimates that the new standard could be 100 times faster than existing networks, and it's going to be a different life. I don't know that it's going to be better. Maybe you're happy the way it is right now, but I can say technologically, it won't even be close. Now, let's think about this. Does this mean that people out in the Midwest and around the country, they're going to be a lot happier because they can access the internet a lot faster? They can shop a lot faster? They can get to the websites that they wanted to a lot faster? Or is he talking about something else? I do believe he's talking about something completely different. We talked about this before when Trump brought up 5G. The blockchain system runs beautifully on 5G. It needs the speed. 5G and blockchain and their combination can lead to an epic-making change in everyday life of people. Blockchain technology could operate at this level, which, with its characteristic of unchangeability and intrinsic security, allows the transmission of data and payment activities to be carried out in a safe and non-infringing manner. The public blockchain could act as a contact element between the widespread IoT in cities, homes, and means of transport, and the 5G network, thus becoming the protector of our privacy and payments. Now, we need to understand that there are many things happening all at once. And people say, well, you're talking about blockchain. What about gold? Listen, we have fiat currency today. Do we have gold? Of course we do. Do we have silver? Of course we do. Gold is an insurance policy. Gold is the wealth, but you need a method of doing business, of transacting. And you can't carry around gold. You can't have gold in your pocket. You need some other transport mechanism. And I do believe blockchain is going to do this. I do believe that Trump is preparing the United States for this technology. Because once the central bank system is brought down and the fiat system is brought to its knees and the central bank is exposed, They are preparing to transition us into an electronic system. Yes, gold is going to destroy the Fed. Yes, gold is the store of wealth. Yes, the blockchain can be used with gold. Yes, we can use it today. We just need the infrastructure. And I do believe this is what Trump is pushing for right now, to bring us to the point where we can transition into this new economy. And he's laying the groundwork right now. And you can see that he is not letting up on the Fed, on the central bank system. He tweeted out today, if the Fed had done its job properly, which it has not, the stock market would have been up 5,000 to 10,000 additional points, and GDP would have been well over 4% instead of 3% with almost no inflation. Quantitative tightening was a killer. Should have done the exact opposite. So what is Trump doing right now? He's pointing the finger at the central bank, letting everyone know that because of what the Fed did, the economy could have been a lot stronger, a lot better. Now, is this a real economy? Is this the economy that he's pushing for? No. What he's doing, he's pointing out the central bank, building the narrative. And if you notice, he's doing this a lot more often now. And you can see the central bank system, well, they're starting to get defensive. We talked about all the articles about how the central bank's independence is being questioned right now. Lagarde was asked whether some central banks were facing threats to their independence in setting monetary policy. She responded, independence has served them well in the course of time and will continue to do so. What's happening here is they're starting to defend themselves because they understand that everything that they're doing is being questioned. And you can see that Christine Lagarde, she is heading off what is coming. She continued to say the following: transparency and effective communication were key components for central banks to be credible in delivering their mandates. Really, central banks are transparent? Absolutely not. She's trying to head off what is coming. What is coming? Well, the call to see what these central banks have been up to. And we can see right now that Trump is taking shots at the Federal Reserve, at the central bank system, and pointing the finger at why they are responsible for when the economy comes down. So at the IMF World Bank spring meeting in Washington, D.C., one of the most widely discussed topics was, guess what? Trump's move to name close political allies to seats on the Federal Reserve Board. The scenario of Herman Cain and Stephen Moore and the 5-member Fed, several participants at the meeting told Newsmax, would violate one of the principles that the IMF encourages its member nations to pursue, a central banking system that is what? Independent of politics. They don't like what is happening. This has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with putting individuals on the board that is going to restructure the system. They know it. They're not part of the team. They're not part of what they've been doing for the past, what is it, 200 years or so, or even 200 years plus? They're not part of it. They're outside the system. They don't like this. Plus, they like gold. Didn't Q once tell us that gold is going to destroy the Fed? Absolutely. And we see that these individuals, they are becoming nervous, they are panicking, and they're very worried about what comes next. This is why they're trying to get ahead of all of the news that is coming down the pike. They're worried, they're afraid. Mario Draghi was out there, and he was asked, should the Federal Reserve, should it remain independent? And of course, what did he say? Of course it should, without hesitation. And as you can see, everything is changing. The central bankers, they're no longer on the offensive. They're on the defensive. Trump is on the offensive. The Patriots are on the offensive. And it's not just with the central bank system. It's with the mainstream media. It's with the Mueller report. It's with the investigations. Everything has been turned around. Trump and the Patriots right now, they are now moving full steam ahead to prepare the United States for what is coming, and that is the transition away from a central bank system, a transition into a people-controlled system where we, the people, will make the rules. We, the people, will use sound money to keep all those individuals in government in check. Think about why all these individuals become corrupt. Charlie Kirk tweeted out the following: net worth before running for president. And you can do this with everyone that's in Congress today. Trump family, $4.5 billion. Now remember, this is before running for president. Obama, $3 million. Clinton, $480,000. Today, Trump, he's down to $3 billion. Obama went from $3 million to $40 million. Clinton went from $480,000 to $100 million. You think our system, you think it's broke? Do you think there's something wrong here? And it goes right back to what? The central bank. And people say, well, how's it the central bank? Well, think about it. In government, if you can create this currency and you can then borrow it and use it for programs and siphon this money off and move it into different areas, then have it come back to you, guess what? You found a way to make yourself very, very wealthy. And it might look like it's coming from donors. It might look like it's coming from other areas. But really what's happening is the money is being sent out and then it's being returned back into foundations or using other methods. And these people become very, very wealthy in this type of structure. Why do you think they've been protecting the central bank for such a long time? They don't want their system to end. They become, as you can see, very, very wealthy. But change is here. A transition is coming, and it has just begun. The battle has just begun, and the Patriots are now taking on the central bank system. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.